Mr. Ottaviani?
Oh, of course, I'm in favor of it, but I just want to shed a little bit of light here. We worked with you folks. The last tenant, we surely don't want a repeat of what happened before. And my family was in the restaurant business from 1939 to 2002. I did it for 16 years out of Boston College, and I realized I could have a life if I got out of the restaurant business. And this last tenant, you knew who the person was, Mr. Vincenti, and I'm not going to speak about people tonight, but we saw what went on, and there was music that you could hear in the back because the previous operator would open the emergency exit doors, and you could hear the music on Bridges Street, and that's unacceptable. We have done, and here comes the puppy, I apologize. We have done everything possible to find a decent, good tenant for this building. We had somebody come to us. My wife was horrified. It was more of a chain concept. They have one in Worcester. We've heard about them wanting to come to Framingham, and they came to us. And I wasn't looking to put that Hooters type concept into my building. I'm a city councilor. The front page story, and let me clarify too, I am speaking tonight only as a property owner, a resident of Framingham, in no way in my role or capacity with the city of Framingham. I apologize for not saying that first. My wife, that is the manager and the member of that LLC. And, the previous tenant filed bankruptcy, and not that it's a concern of yours, but for $250,000, we lost. The last year, the building has been vacant. We are in a business zone. The tax bill there is north of $40,000. We own a third of the parking lot. We have easements and rights with Canigliaro. My property goes right up to his storefront on the left. So when he needs the parking, he uses it. When we need the parking, we use it. We've always been a good neighbor. I know Waverly Market had some concerns, the Stephaninis, but before they had any parking, they always used our parking lot. We have plenty of parking. There's no doubt about that. Upstairs, we have a church and a small veterans group. The church has been limited for the last year, and so hasn't the veterans group. We've made things easy for them. This new tenant, to attract them, we had to give free rent. We reduced the rent by 50%. And are doing everything possible. We are both the bank and the landlord, and we just want them to succeed. And that's all I'm asking. And I'll say exactly what I said when it came to Mr. Vincenti. If something goes wrong, you people bring them back in and do what you need to do. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but you won't hear me pleading for mercy. I never pleaded for mercy for the last tenant. I was with you in trying to get rid of them. They weren't paying, they didn't care, and there were lots of issues. And we're not looking for that. I'm 57 years old. I'm looking for my life to be a little bit easier. And we also have another building that was a restaurant on Route 9 that's vacant. So the last year has absolutely been devastating to us, and we've survived it. We haven't asked for abatements on our buildings because God knows, with me being who I am and with who I am, it would never happen. And I wouldn't ask for it because I wouldn't embarrass myself to ask for it. But the last 2 years have been a stretch on both buildings, and there's been no revenue from both of these restaurant locations. So we're just looking to give these guys a chance. And I will be monitoring them as close as you are, because I hate to say it, but they're going to be on a short string because, like I said, we're the landlord and we're financing this entire operation. The other folks owed us so much money, and to try to find a restaurant to come to Framingham or anywhere, good luck. You see the Aegean's going to the auction block in a few weeks. The rumors are it's going to be self-storage. People aren't coming and looking to open up restaurants. So I had to make this as attractive as possible. The one tenant that wanted to come, that looked at it, the concept, I just didn't felt or worked with the neighborhood. My grandparents and my mother would be rolling in the grave if I had signed a lease with those folks. So we didn't do it. And we've reached out. They've refreshened the building. These folks are nice folks. They never worked in the building. Gabriella, the other gentleman, never worked there. No management roles whatsoever. And believe me, I wouldn't want to do business with anybody that ran that last restaurant. And I mean that sincerely. So I'm here for any questions, and looking forward to working with you people and getting a successful restaurant in that building. I have been working with the Cobanville Tripoli Neighborhood Association. I have a great relationship with them. They're looking forward to a restaurant going in there. We want it to be family oriented, but however, they need functions. It's closer to 10,000 square feet with a lower function room. And just to comment on your, Teal, on your comments, there is no direct exit from the lower level in the function room. That's an emergency exit. If something were to happen, the lights all come on and they're guided out through the exit on Bridges Street in the basement. There's two entrances on Waverly Street. There's a corner entrance on Bridges Street, which is the lounge entrance. And there is a second entrance for the function room that goes out onto Bridges Street on the side, but it was behind the building that caused a lot of the problems when the previous tenant would open the emergency exits and just leave the doors open all night, and the music was blaring. And we sent him notices. My attorney, Counselor Chris Mingace, did everything humanly possible, but those folks didn't play by the rules, and you folks saw that as well as I did. So I'm sorry for rambling, but I just thought it was important to share those things with you this evening. Thank you.
No, thank you for your perspective.